Good evening, everyone. Well, it's about to be evening where I am. Welcome to my another episode of replaying the story of Final Fantasy XIV. This time, now that we've cleared the first part of the Heavensward main story, we defeated Nidhogg. Well, we almost did. They got possessed by Estinian. Then we defeated the Pope. And now here we are. And also the Ishgard is now part of the Alliance. So now we're gonna do the side stories. And as the title may say, Alexander and the War in Triad. For tonight, I thought we're gonna start off with the War in Triad. Let's get to it. Now, where do we start? Oh, must go to Ishgard then. Well, all I can say about these next installments will be the soundtrack is divine. You will see soon enough. Now then, who wants to talk to us? Also, I switch up my gear a bit. Looks cool, right? Also got the knuckles from the Knights of the 12 boss fight. Oh, you got something to say? Ah, my Lord Leo. During your absence, a stranger came calling. Upon learning that you were away, he left a message to the effect that he wishes to speak with you, and will await you at the Rising Stones. If you have a mind to oblige this stranger, please be careful. I cannot well explain why, but it put me at ill ease to simply be near him. Interesting. Okay, now we go to Mordona. I guess I was one step ahead of the game. I was 4 parallel universes ahead of you. Now then, whomstuff is the one who wishes to speak with me? Oh. Must look down, not to see all the spoilery parts. Hello? Someone wanted to speak with me? My thanks for coming. A kid? With a mask. Unu Kalahai is my name. and I serve a friend. I sought you out that I might alert you of the rising threat of the beings known as Icons. You are aware of the threat, you say? Ah, but I speak not of the primals, with which you are exceedingly well acquainted. It may interest you to know that the term Icon and the beings to which it refers precede the Guardian Empire by eras. You see, it is this name by which the Allegans call godlike beings, the dark divinity Odin among them, and the Guardians, who seek to emulate the glory of ancient Alleg, have simply availed themselves of it. Pray permit me to continue the tale. Huh? Urianger, my boy. How much of ye old English are you might speak with me? Ah, Urianger, how kind of you to join us. As the warrior of lies, comrade, my participation is but to be expected. After all, the matter doth pertain to the very fate of this star. The Icons of Eld. In the distant past, these mighty beings did offer fierce resistance to the Allegan Empire. However, they eventually fell to the men of Alleg, who devised the means by which to capture them. And it did not end with capture, as you well know, for the Allegans also learned how to harness the Icon's power. They refined this knowledge at the Ethergrammatical Research Facility on Asis La, and within the centrifugal crystal engine, they sailed 3 of their beings, the warring Triad. 'Twas first and foremost to acquire the infinite power of the warring Triad that the Archbishop they did seek Asis La. Yeah, remember. But in the wake of his defeat, the bindings which confined the Icons were severely damaged. Doubt not, but that they will fail completely ere long. Know that we do not condemn you for striking down the Archbishop. You are simply fulfilling your destiny. And yet, were the warring Triad to be released into the world, unimaginable destruction would ensue. Take heart, for there is hope still. Though swift action, we may yet prevent their awakening and see them resealed. But in dealing with this new threat, our first step must be to contend with the old. 2 savage gods are returned, I fear, summoned once more by their worshippers, and at a strength far surpassing their previous incarnations. I speak of the primals Ravana and Bismarck. If left unchecked, they will inevitably seek to seize the power of the warring Triad. This will serve to feed their confluence of chaos and hasten the Icon's awakening. To wit, we must needs vanquish both their kinds. I pray thee, however, to first focus thy gaze upon the primals, ere we turn our attention to those Icons and their fitful slumber. I shall return to the Waking Sands forthwith, and consider such measures as are available to us. Meanwhile, I bid thee attend the task of eliminating the primals. Jan Unukalhai shall assist thee. Rest assured he is not our enemy, for the time being at least. Interesting. Right then, it seems now that... Well, we're now skipping ahead, that we defeated the Ravana and Bismarck. We shall now continue the story. The time has come, Warrior of Light. We must now move against the warring Triad now, or suffer the consequences. The seal is cracked, and the Icons stir. Should they be allowed to awaken and resume their titanic conflict, it will be a light to the coming of a second calamity. You, Leo, represents our best hope of eliminating this threat. That said, the very act of entering the containment facility itself presents certain unique challenges. So unique, in fact, that I struggle to locate an individual with the requisite talents to surmount them. Were it not for the impressively diverse connections of your fellow scions, I might still be searching. Happily, however, they were able to furnish me with a suitable candidate. Now, along with you and your echo-blessed companions, all the pieces were needed to proceed with the deadly game are ringing upon your board. Victory hinges upon no less than the total destruction of the war in Triad. But we must also wear the interference of those who covet the Allagan's primal harnessing technology. I speak, of course, of the blindly grasping hand of the Garlean Empire and its fumbling agents. The ignorant meddling of the Empire will serve only to hasten the Icon's awakening, and it is my master's desire that the Triad be dispatched before Imperial forces delve too deeply. Being the nearest of wakefulness, the Icon Sephiroth shall be your first adversary. Make your preparations, and join me on the flagship in Nazi's Law. We shall speak further there. Sephiroth? Now where did I heard that name before? Sephiroth. Now, onwards to the flagship. Onward and upward. This way? Now, if I remember correctly, the war in Triad is a reference to the Final Fantasy VI. This is the place, Warrior of Light. Here we will find the containment facility where entities of incalculable power lie chained, their fathomless energy siphoned away by elegant devices. As I warned you, Sephiroth poses the most immediate threat. His dreamy mind drifts perilously close to consciousness. Thus must his destruction be our first concern. Our fellow science will be joining us anon, accompanied by the uniquely talented individual of whom I spoke. From what I gather, the two of you are already well acquainted. Let's continue inside, and wait before the doors of the containment facility. Someone I already know? Hey. Oh, right, in canon, we haven't met her yet. Well, good to see you, Kryle. You've not been waiting too long, I trust. We are eager to lend whatever cooperation we made to your mission, Leo. It is an honor to meet you at last. As I know of only one Mikote Scion, you must be Archon Y'shtola, meaning your diminutive companion is Mistress Kryle of the Students of Baldessian, correct? Diminutive? Perhaps there has been some mistake. I assume it was for my knowledge and not my stature that you requested my assistance. The mistake is mine. My apologies if I give an offense. Maybe it would be best if we proceed directly to the matter of our objectives. Your adversary is the Icon Sephiroth of the War in Triad, otherwise known by the historians of Alec as the Fiend. He was once the patron deity to a tribe of tree-like beings native to Mericidia, but was subdued by the Alecan Empire after a lengthy war of attrition. After his defeat, he was imprisoned for use as a source of power. Even now, Sephiroth is neither truly living nor dead, his mind bound in a dream, while his body's energies are harnessed by Alecan technologies. The explanation of his failure to dissipate into ether lies in his restraints. These ingenious devices serve not only to bind them out of, but to continuously generate his corporeal form. Meaning it would be all but impossible to banish him while such restraints are in place, yes? Remove them, however, and we risk allowing an unfathomably powerful and doubtless vengeful icon to run apart. It seems we have no choice but to divide our forces. One team must locate the controls to Sephiroth's shackles and disable them, while the other stands ready to destroy him at the moment of his awakening. A most succinct assessment, Mistress Krell. Well, I was aware that the Echo provided you with the uncanny insight, but I did not expect you to intuit the core of my strategy quite so swiftly. If only my kid offers such a detailed analysis, which is to say it doesn't. I merely took upon myself to learn as much about the Triad's imprisonment as I could before coming here. It will be Leo and I, after all, who enter the Icon's den. Indeed, given the nature of our adversary, none save those under the aegis of the Echo should be permitted to enter the containment facility. The risk of primal influence is too great. Well, that's so then. I will disable the restraints, and Leo and his gifted adventurer friends will welcome Sephiroth back into waking world. Better than that the other way around, I say. Consider our respective fields of expertise, and of course my diminutive stature. Right. It's time I have a little chat with the doorkeeper over there.
Activating fortification systems, lifting access restrictions to Triad control.
I had no idea the Baldessian curriculum was so comprehensive. When we locate the controls for Sephiroth's restraints, I shall gladly leave their operation to you. When we locate the controls? Mayhap my words were unclear. Only those blessed with the Echo may safely enter the facility. Your concern for my sanity is touching, but unnecessary. Suffice it to say, I am in no danger of falling under the Icon's sway.
Bleep bloop. Warning. Fortification systems detect multiple unauthorized vessels entering restricted airspace. Security systems engaging intruders.
The Gallians. Come, Orianjay. We must keep the Imperials occupied. We too should be on our way. God, I would be lying if I said I wasn't slightly terrified. But I can't very well leave every deadly task to you, Silence. According to the histories, Sephiroth was immense in both size and strength, mighty enough to rout even the impeccable armies of the Alecans, and that more than once. To cut a long story short, we had to get this right. I shall do my best not to wake the Icon up too much, as my grandfather always used to say of certain little monsters. Get them up and get them moving while their brains are still abed. Right then. Now let's go fight Sephiroth. And as always, put on this. Sephiroth, the Fiend, was a deity once worshipped by the tree-like race native to Mericidia, brought into being for the sole purpose of repelling the Allagan invasion. Sephiroth inflicted ruinous losses upon the Imperial army before finally being subdued and imprisoned in the central facility of Azizla. And now, millennia later, this immensely powerful entity threatens to awaken, its vengeful dreams disturbed by the careless ambitions of the Archbishop Thorin VII. Topple the first pillar of the warring Triad, or wheresoever his colossal shadow falls, shall be visited by the unthinkable catastrophe. And we shall not let that happen. Ah, crap, I forgot. Okay, time out. Sorry about that, I forgot to take this little thing away. Not to skip my previously done adventures. Now, take 2. And for this to be much more amazing, I'll shut up.
Disabling Sephiroth's restraints now. Good luck.
I love that song. Yeah. Where is everybody? Oh. You did it! I've seen you in action before, but never against anything that big. My legs kept telling me to run, but I just couldn't tear myself away. I don't think I blinked once during the whole battle. A hero, tried and true. If only I possessed such strength. Ishtola? This is Kryl. Icon eliminated. Oh, if only you had seen it. Leo gave Sephiroth the mother of all rude awakenings. And your distraction was perfect. We encountered not a single Imperial soldier. Yes, understood. Let's swap tails at the Rising Stones then. On our path to Control Chamber, we discovered a number of dormant thralls. It would seem the machines that preserve their forms also hold them in a state of torpor. We need not fear them summoning their deity anew. In short, our work here is done. For the present at least. Let's go home, shall we? Oh.
Your senses are sharp, young one. I am Regula von Hydrus, legatus of the 6th Legion. It would seem that damnable woman and her accomplice have led me merry dance through the thickest of its infernal island's defenses. To think that I pursued them. I shall withdraw for now. My lesson learned.
I doubt it. You Garlands never learn. You cultivate the means to enslave primals, but in your headlong dash to control that which you do not understand, you know less wisdom than the very beast tribes that summon them.
I have no interest in crossing blades with children. Live, grow strong, and may have one day you will warrant my attention.
I looked back that you weren't there. Did something happen? Not of consequence. I mistook a shadow for a man. Just what are you hiding beneath that mask of yours? A longing for a hope? An appetite of power? A lingering sense of regret? And do I detect a desire to test your strength against a certain hero? Is that what your gifts tell you? No, those were just wild guesses. But I wonder if those few of my words didn't strike close to the mark. Or may have more than a few. Be at ease, Unukalhai. I have no supernatural ability to read minds. The echo simply allows me to comprehend, regardless of language, that which a fellow being will have me know. You need not mask your heart as you do your countenance. That was a performance then? A ruse to uncover my true nature? I see. I shall have to keep my wits about me. Okay, Sephiroth defeated. Let's go celebrate. Oh. Guess I must do this all the time when I walk through this hall. Mostly because there's some bit of spoilers from the Shadowbringers. So, Warrior of Light, how did it feel to strike down so great a foe? You must tell me more of the experience once our meeting with your colleagues is concluded. Though thine all-surpassing skill at arms do we now take our first step in ridding this star of the war in Triad's baleful presence, and in such wise do we lessen the burden bequeathed unto us by the vainglory of Alec. Know, however, that the two icons which remain are though equal in might to Sephiroth, and may yet exceed him. Ere thou proceed, I would counsel thee to marshal thy strength, and give careful thought to thy preparation. Assuming the Guardians afford us the luxury of time, even now they grasp for the means to dominate primals, blind to the technology's potential for calamity. My master taught me that the entity known as Sephiroth was this world's first sacred tree, elevated to godhood by the belief of its worshippers. There is no power more fearsome than that born of unconditional faith, and unbending ideal. 'Tis plain your master found in your willing student. Tell me, was it he who taught you of elegant technology, potential for calamity, or are those your own words? 'Twas but a figure of speech, nothing more. When last we met, I thought I caught a glimpse of the boy behind the mask, but it would seem your defenses are firmly back in place. Must you persist with this infuriating veil of secrecy? I for one would very much like to know who this master of yours is, amongst other things. As long as our purposes align, what matter of my affiliation? It matters a great deal. I do not ask out of idle curiosity. If we are to fight as comrades, we need to be able to trust each other. On which note, I should apologize for my earlier trickery. It was merely an attempt to get the heart of an enigmatic companion. Truth be told, I was rather glad you reacted as you did. No person of your age has any business being calm and aloof all the time, much as you might wish to be. Anyway, we had best be off. Do send word that if there are any further developments. A companion now, am I? So, what's next? I am troubled, Warrior of Light. The 6th Legion will not soon surrender its pursuit of elegant technology. While it is true that the 6th suffer heavy losses in an attempt to breach Azizla defenses, the Legion is still very much a force to be reckoned with. Left to its own devices, it will not be long before the Legatus moves to... Pray excuse the interruption, but a call on his link pearl can only come from one of your fellow scions. Archon Ishtola, what news? And you are quite certain that they have broken through? Yes, of course. We shall leave immediately. It would seem the thing I fear most has come to pass. The Guardians have succeeded in dispelling the barrier Urianger placed upon the entrance to the research facility. We must intercept and destroy them before they acquire the means to control primal entities. Archon Ishtola requested that we assemble at the scene of the intrusion. Pray depart at once. I will join you when I have informed the other scions of this development. Will do, kid. Will do. Away! With my magical Christmas bear. Where do I have to go? Over there? Well, before Christmas, there's the Halloween. Can't wait to see what the this year's event will be like. I see we are the first to arrive. No matter. Your colleagues should be here anon. They were wise indeed to keep this area under surveillance. Had the Guardians slipped by unnoticed, I dare not think of the consequences. Archon Ishtola set forth of Azizla, where it became apparent that the Legatus was attempting to breach the barrier, and arrived to find that he had succeeded. We must hope that he has yet to find his prize. And what prize could that be? Besides technology. Anything specific? Hey, Kryle.
Well met, Unuko Alhai, and thank you for answering my summons so swiftly, Leo. We shall be glad to your presence, should we meet with the 6th Legion, as seems all but certain. As you may be aware, this facility houses some of Alex's most advanced technology. Accordingly, Urianger sought to deny the Empire's easy ingress by weaving a ward of singular potency. Not singular enough, it would seem. I would be surprised if the Legatus had not reached the core of laboratories already.
'Tis passing strange.
I wove the ward in accordance with the most closely guarded teachings of the Archmages of Sharlayan. Naught was left to chance not. 'Tis well known that the children of Garlemald had not talent for arcane manipulation, nor hath the Empire more than cursory knowledge of sorcery. That they should succeed in unraveling so complex a skein of magecraft, and with such a surpassing swiftness tis passing strange.
That it is, Urianger, but 'tis a mystery of another day.
Archaistola has the right of it. Before all else, we must move to safeguard the knowledge which enabled the Elegants to harness primal energies. Of particular concern is the Genesis expression, an ether chemical formula that allowed the scholars of yore to create substance from nothingness.
I know no such formula. Whence came you by this information? From your enigmatic master, perchance?
He did furnish me with the morsel, yes, and know exactly which price the Legatus now seeks, enable us to predict his position. Do you not see? We have been gifted the perfect opportunity to remove the head of the entire Legion.
I didn't think you were quite so bloodthirsty, Unukalhai. Surely safeguarding secrets should take precedence over slain Legatuses. Graal's sentiments reflect my own, yet the two objectives need not be mutually exclusive. What say you, Urianger?
Urianger? Forgive me. My thoughts were bound by idle imaginings. In answer to thy question, my lady, I am content to be led by thee in this matter.
Right. Enable the facility teleporters, shall we? You dwell on the matter of the barrier.
I do. Verily 'twas a warding spell of labyrinthine intricacy, the brainchild of the head of the students of Baldessian himself. Even the most learned Archon would require some several moons to disentangle such an enchantment. To do so in mere bells would require some preternatural power akin to the very echo itself.
Hello, Drake. Glad you came.
Just a while ago I defeated the Sephiroth. Now we get to the middle of the story now. Stop some Imperials for getting some MacGuffins. Some mechs. Oh, okay. Let's go.
In the name of the Emperor!
presence of my friends.
Wow. Okay then. Let's go, Y'shtola. Nice one.
After the Legatus.
Ah, some more.
And still they come. Press on, Leo. I will handle this.
Okay then. No teleporting this time.
I have exposed the bones of their work. Now to extract the marrow.
Hold it right there.
Even in the moment of my triumph, you persist in your misguided crusade. So be it. I shall present my prize to the Emperor alongside your head!
You think so? Come on, bro.
Savages.
What's up, bro? Take a swing, bro. Right here, bro.
Savages.
Whoa.
Can you withstand this? Can you withstand this?
Miss me, now you have to kiss me. Whoa! Hey, that's cool, I want that.
Enough!
That's it? Leo! The tunnel is unbreached then? Mm-hmm. Huh? Kryl!
My wounds will not slow my blade, should you seek to bar my path.
And you would slay me, no doubt. But it will be your final act. You are surrounded, Dr. Evil.
What madness afflicts you, Eosian fools? The Emperor but desires a means to shackle their icons and their destructive appetites. Why do you rail against your own salvation?
It is not for a man to wield such power. The primal energy your Emperor seeks to contain would be a kindling waiting for a spark. Forget not their white raven, Legatus. Like thee, he presumed to wield the power of Alec, and invited the calamity in so doing. This star's fate is too important to be decided by any one man, a warmongering savage least of all.
Have care, boy. You speak of my Emperor. But dying here in defense of his honor will not further his cause.
What? How'd they do that? Well, well, I appear not to be dead. Huh? Ow! Kryl! I have a cracked a rib. Or two. But I'll be fine, honestly. Our foes have no quarter. Had Unukalhai stinted in his defense of thee, thou mayst be certain thy hurts will be far worse. I could do no less. Mistress Crowley is here at my behest after all. The secrets of Alec are safe for the present, though 'tis doubtful that Legatus will return to Garlemald till the prize he coveteth lieth in his grasp. Though we must redouble our efforts to protect this place. Crowley and I will place additional seals upon the Tormlith. Unukalhai. I appreciate you staying at my side. Thank you. It was not. Oh, please. It was a good deal more than that, and you know it. Now tell me, help you. When a woman thanks you for saving her life, the customary response is, "You're welcome."
You are welcome. Noise. Ah, we're in J. Are the new wards already in place?
My colleagues yet toil upon their enchantments. I come unto thee in secret, that I might question thee outside their hearing.
Question me?
I would speak with the one who undid my subtlest magecraft, he who invited the Imperial Legatus into this facility, in hopes of engineering the man's demise at the hands of the Warrior of Light.
You accuse me of masterminding this day's events?
The plan may have been thy master's, but the deed was thine. Thou didst lure the Legatus of the 6th Legion into a trap, from which he was not intended to emerge. 'Tis plain to me now that thy seeming opportunism in proposing his elimination was feigned, and that his death was the object of thy plan from the first.
And you have proof of this?
Thine own words betray thee. Thou didst speak of the Empire's desire to claim the Genesis expression, the existence of which even the learned Mistress Krile was ignorant. Whence then did the Legatus come by such definitive knowledge? And then there is a matter of mine unraveled ward. None save one possessed of an otherworldly gift could have so swiftly effected this dissolution. Know thee of another blessed with such?
Assuming the accusations have merit, what then?
Full many times and oft doth the pursuit of truth lead men now darkened paths. I take no issue with thy purpose, 'tis but thy method I would call into question. In the Gallian Empire we have a common foe. Hadst thou deigned to share thy intentions with Leo or Mistress Krile, 'tis like that we would have closed the trap with less risk of life and more success.
I sought to use the most dangerous secret of Alec as bait. Who among you would agree to such a reckless plan?
None, and with good cause. Irrespective, thou wert remiss in thy duty of thy comrades. I note with some disappointment that in matters concerning with the primals and those who would control them, the cold rationality upon which thou so pridest thyself so conspicuous by its absence. Know that the salvation of this star is at the end too vast for any of us to accomplish such. Shouldst thou fail to trust in thy comrades, I foresee thy actions participate in some terrible misfortune.
Indeed. My sincerest apologies, Leo. Oriangene is correct in his suspicions. It was I who orchestrated this encounter with the Empire.
How dost thou forgive Unukalhai his transgression, and keep mention of it for Mistress Krile? 'Twould be a pity for one foolish enough excuse me. 'Twould be a pity for one foolish decision to wither their budding camaraderie ere it had a chance to bloom.
There you are, you run idler. When Y'shtola realized we were struggling with the wards alone, she was absolutely livid.
Ah, never mind the war in Triad. I had awoken Archon Y'shtola's tempestuous wrath. In supplicant mood shall I return at once, and there atone for mine indolence.
Come, Leo. It is time we return to the Rising Stones. So, the king wanted that Imperial Legatus really dead. Really dead. I can understand why he wanted to do it, because as I know it may sound controversial, but I think the Guardians may as well be like the certain army from the 1940s, almost, minus the racism. Okay, scratch that. Plus the racism. Oop. Must keep looking down, so we may not see the spoilery characters. Here you are. Once again, I must apologize for acting without your consent or counsel. As a gesture of repentance and sign of good faith, allow me to share something of myself with you. As Urianshe suggested, I possess the gift of the Echo, though it's of a nature different from yours. Regardless, I would use my gift for self-same purpose, the salvation of this star, and nothing poses a greater threat to the world than the proliferation of primal harnessing technology. This I only know too well. What I'm about to divulge concerns the fate of another star entirely. On this another world, a magic was devised that allowed the realm's champions to use a stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. Auracite? Wait, you're talking about the Final Fantasy XII and the Tactics world? So armed, these heroic souls conquer god after god, oblivious to their weapons' fatal imperfection, the propensity to bleed primal energies, and with each victory the heroes changed, transforming at last into fiends of endless appetite. Insatiable in their hunger for ether, they ultimately went to war over this star's ever-dwindling life force, and fought until there was nothing left. Thus, as Urianshe so astutely observed, when I am faced with those who rush to embrace power unchecked, I lose all semblance of rationality. Know that my master, too, cared deeply about the fates of the star. I am his servant, his instrument, sent here to ensure that the same tragedy does not consume another world. So basically, you are a isekai kid. Warrior of Light, if this world is to survive, we must needs to move forward with our plan. Another pillar of the warring Triad must be toppled. The question of which has already been answered. Following our encounter with the Legatus, Archon Y'shtola detected erratic etheric waveforms emanating from the sector containing the icon Sophia, known simply as the Goddess in former times. Such readings can mean only one thing. She is close to awakening. Let us return to Azizla forthwith and put an end to this primal deity, lest she rise again in all her terrible glory. Okay then. Next up is Sophia of the Warring Triad.
That's the wrong button. Kinda sad that they haven't really used this place for it. Nothing too much else. Except for the main story and this War in Triad side story. Oh, and also the acquiring the relic weapon. We appear to be the first to arrive. Shall we await our colleagues here? Yes. Let's wait. What? Could the 6th Legion have returned? Leo, Hunukalahai. What's wrong? We are under attack. Istola and Urianger have engaged their foe not far from here. Let's check it out. Whom stuff they are fighting? What?
Ah, really is my shield thus tested? Would seem the Allegans have not been lax in their recruitment.
Think you so? Maybe our arm merely withered while you lay idle.
Still your tongues. We have stalled them long enough. With scales in hand, the goddess shall arise, and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Hear my words and spare, Allegans. Our god is awoken. Your civilization has birthed the instruments of its own undoing.
Tis well that you are here, Leo. I should like to know what our assailants were saying. You understood their words, did you not?
'Twas a Mercidian dialect, if mine ears do not deceive, though one which beareth scant resemblance to any spoken in recent times. As of our antagonists' meaning, I do gladly defer to those blessed with the echo.
The one with the shield seemed to think we were Allegans. He recited what sounded like a verse of prophecy, then claimed that their goddess is awoken. Is that about right, Leo? And might we assume that this deity of theirs is the very icon we've come to topple?
Aye. From their tongue, their words, and their attire, 'tis like our antagonists were Mercidian, thralls to the goddess Sophia, and victims of the Allegans' incursions. If, as Kral claimeth, they thought of us agents of Alleg, 'tis little wonder that they sought to bring us low.
You suggest that Sophia's servants have been liberated from their containment? They have no choice but to accept word of her awakening as truth. Gods help us. The warring Triad have proven formidable enough. When we arouse them with fraction of their true strength, should Sophia break free at the peak of her powers, Leo and his friends would stand a chance. Let us be about it then. Leo, Krile, Unukalhai, the three of you will make it directly to Sophia's containment facility. Urianshe and I will do what we can to occupy the Icon's thralls. Okay, let's go defeat a goddess. Mistress Krile, do you perchance recall the words of the prophecy in its entirety? Let me see. I believe it was, with scales in hand, the goddess shall rise, and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Right then. History tells of a Mericidian nation comprised of a multitude of races, the foundations of which were built on the worship of a single deity. The goddess, as she was simply known, graced the souls of her worshippers with perfect equilibrium, binding their disparate societies in gilded chains of harmony. In the present day, she is better known as Sophia, one of the incalculably powerful icons of the warring Triad, and after 5,000 years of imprisonment, her fell plans for vengeance once more threaten to come to fruition. Defeat the awakened thralls and slay the stirring goddess, lest her divine balance bring all the world to equal ruin. Right then. Right then. How many times have I said that already? There she is.
I leave the goddess in your capable hands. Just watch out for her worshippers.
Will do. Let's go.
The unenlightened come.
Whoa. Ouch.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom. Know you the full weight of death.
Where'd you go?
To me, my faithful. Come forth, scales of revelation.
Oh.
I
What
would
is
know the
happening now?
weight of your souls.
Whoa. Whoa.
Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip back the balance.
Whoa. No, no, no. Fuck. Oopsies. Forgot that happened.
The unenlightened come.
Take two.
Know you the full weight of death. To me, my faithful. Come forth, scales of revelation. I would know the weight of your souls. Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip back the balance. Sin must be balanced with suffering. Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Oh no! Ah, god dang it. Ah, so close. Okay, one more time.
The unenlightened come. Know you the full weight of death.
Well, I must say that these level 60 trials are pretty difficult, even with a level 80 character.
To me, my faithful. Come forth, scales of revelation. I would know the weight of your souls. Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip back the balance. Sin must be balanced with suffering. Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
I just saw the meteorites falling. You won't stop me. There we go. Well, third time's the charm, as they say. Phew. Done.
I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Kryla and Uru-Kalahai have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing it puzzles me, however. How did Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? I believe we have the answer to that. We discovered the remains of Guardian soldier in an adjacent sector of the containment facility. It is likely that the fool ventured too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion, and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if any were needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings, the goddess would not have been conscious when she claimed the man's will, and yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants, and would have resulted in her own liberation had we not been on hand to intervene.
I do much wonder that the Icon spawn was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge?
That too is easily explained. During our investigation, Kral discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check, a flaw which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the periods, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time towards the end of the Third Astral Era, when the peoples of Mericidia faced extinction at the hands of the Alcan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with a rebel faction with Alec, who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prince intended for Sophia, and then the goddess and her thralls changed to be captured, though we suspect that this had always been in their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the heart of Alec, and we think they intend to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for the rebels to exploit the weakness of their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Mericidians were exposed before they could enact the plot, and all were summarily executed. It seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days, had it not been for the actions of the Archbishop, and then subsequently the Guardians. I cannot help but wonder what might have come to pass had their scheme been successful. Mayhap the answer lies in the prophecy.
Kral hath the sight of it. Its words may be deciphered thus. The cursed Pal speaketh of Sophia's prison, from which she was supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, can be no other than the great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner, whom the goddess did intend to unleash upon Alec, to set right the scales of justice.
A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would surely have raised the realm, not to have been spared the devastation, the Mericidians' homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished for naught else but to purge the poison of Alec with primal fire.
The tale teacheth us that one of the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought down by a single act of treachery. The Alakans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable. Not else their total destruction shall free us from their menace. Let us now return to the Rising Stones, and there consider the final step to this most needful task. Right.
The threat posed by this facility is far greater than you imagine, Urianger, and one not limited to the icons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down.
Warning. The activating stasis chamber support system will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Identification code accepted. Subjects terminated.
Interesting. And back to the Rising Stones. Luckily, there haven't been any stones that have risen yet. Yay! Another Triad defeated. Now don't mind me, just looking down. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Is out a mist, Warrior of Light. Archangel Stola mentioned that there was a matter she wishes to discuss. Well met, Leo. You will forgive me if I seem curt, but I will settle accounts with our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered all that of her remaining thralls had perished in their stasis chambers. This was your doing? Aye, it was. I chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstones we recovered. The true purpose of these prisoners is far more horrifying than I first assumed. The Alakans were not simply observing the icons and siphoning away their energies. They were conducting experiments in preparation for a far more ambitious project. If you'll recall, both the Fiend and the Goddess were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were the prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction for our artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamed. Aye, the icon's cage are unmistakably of the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seeds of the three calamities, which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Eliminating one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess's slumbering thralls, a distasteful task unbefitting one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case, and it is apparent that we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Leo is presumptuous in the extreme. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, he did so in the knowledge that he would be required to face and destroy not only the Primals, but also their fanatical servants. That which you term a distasteful task is an essential part of our calling, a burden which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. It's true. These hands are not clean. I see. 'Twould seem I misjudged the depths of your resolve. No matter. Assume you have made myself understood. We need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by Gallian soldiers who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful that the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire claim that the 6th Legion is rife with agents under orders to thwart the Legate's mission by any means necessary. Lest you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regula von Hydrus rose to the top of the Gallian military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Emperor for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose through the favor of the established order, and will accordingly do anything to see him fail. That they would be so reckless? You truly believe that the actions of these agents contribute to the recent crisis? Aye, and that they pose no less a risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must needs continue to do all in our power to prevent the technologies of Alec from falling into the hands of man. On that point, at least, we have ever been in complete agreement. Right. They must not know sorry. They must not know the secret of the Wi-Fi. Greetings, Warrior of Light. But one pillar of the warring Triad remains, Zurvan, the icon known as the Demon. According to the histories I have uncovered, this monstrous being was worshipped by a race of Mercedian beastmen. These creatures are the key to maintaining Zurvan's manifestation, and we can be sure that many such thralls will be imprisoned somewhere within the research facility. It is imperative that we determine their exact location as swiftly as possible. We dare not risk repeating the near disaster we suffered at the hands of Sophia's servants. As such, your fellow Scions have already begun an exhaustive search, but there are several sectors which only you, Kryl, and I can enter without fear of enthrallment. Let us make our way to Azizla forthwith and aid the investigations. Okay then. Once more with feeling to Azizla. So,
Any of you seen any movies recently?
Last time I watched was the new Marvel movie.
What was it called again? Hopefully I can say this right. Hold on.
Yeah, it was the Shang-Chi movie.
I must say, it was really fun movie.
Leo, it's good we caught you. The facility has been swarmed by Imperial troops.
By the standards did we judge them soldiers of the 6th. Aye. Once more doth Regula von Hydrus stretch forth his hand to seize the forbidden fruits of Alec. And once more have our meticulous wards been swept aside like so many cobwebs. Your meddlesome wards were destroyed from within by pulsating energies of an icon. Oh.
Nay, put your weapons and listen. The followers of Zurban have awakened, and they toil to rouse their master.
The demon worshippers yet slumbered when they confronted Sophia. Could the temper of their thralls have been more widespread than we thought? Their share a common enemy. It is not unthinkable that they would seek to free all those the Alagans have imprisoned.
Yes, the cage doors are open. And while as you stand here quibbling over who picked the locks, my soldiers are inside the facility, risking their lives and their sanity. They have volunteered to face death to prevent Zurban's servants from waking him in the fullness of his power. Now, assuming you have at last understood the gravity of the situation, it is time that I rejoin them.
But you cannot hope to succeed. The Icons will enslave their minds of any who draw near.
Thus did I seek out those with the power to resist his influence. Aid us, and mayhap my men will not perish in vain.
You propose an alliance.
I have delved into the depths of this place and found its technology wanting. These mechanisms have failed to hold their prisoners, and such broken artifacts are unfit to bring before the Emperor. Twice have you bested me in combat. Will you now lend me that strength, and stand against our mutual foe?
'Twas in opposing your reckless schemes that Izali was lost to us. Do you expect us to simply forgive and forget all that has come before?
I expect you to put aside your emotions and use your better judgment. But of course, I am dealing with savages. I will not stand here and justify the death of the Ice Maiden. We pursued our ideals and you pursued yours. Such was the result, and mayhap you might consider another point. In these endless clashes, we have all lost comrades dear to us, yet I choose to put aside past grievances to beg your champion's aid, to appeal to your reason.
Thou art willing to build a bridge of common purpose upon such tremulous foundations? I, too, am hesitant to accept this arrangement, Akayishtola, but the offer has been made to the Warrior of Light, and 'tis his involvement which shall ultimately sway its outcome. I shall abide by Leo's decision. Well, although the Empire is the biggest threat, Zurban is the biggest.
Then for the better or worse, we shall fight at your side. Mistress Kryl and I are also resistant to primal influence. We shall aid you where we can.
Then let us be on our way.
Our companions already passed through the research facility. We should not lag behind. The demon stirs.
Like a suckling babe, he feedeth upon the ether siphoned unto him by his thralls. We must needs deprive him of his sustenance.
Then we destroy those devices.
Halt! Witness your soldiers! They have turned one against each other. Even half awake, Zervan corrupts and convinces those who enter his aura. The three of us then, Leo, Unukalhai, we rush in together and each disable a generator. We cannot give them the chance to rally a defense.
There are 4 mechanisms in my count. If I can avoid the icon's miasma, my blade will make short work of the last one.
We, all of us, have pledged our lives to.
Keep your lives. I would rather you tend to my fallen. Some may yet survive with their minds intact.
I don't know if my strength will be enough. I am no champion.
The battlefield is no place for uncertainty, boy. Fate has blessed you with a unique talent and an occasion to use it. Do not waste such a gift. We strike!
Gods, Zervan is... Unukalhai! He slumbers once more. You saved me. Why?
I told you, boy. Yours is a gift too precious to waste. A gift the Emperor may one day have need of it in his war upon these untamable icons. Emperor Varus, he raised me up for the ranks, stood against my detractors. I gladly give my life in his service. You must finish this. Slay these legions upon our star. Kill them all. Kill Zervan.
We must needs withdraw and prepare our assault. At the cost of his very life, the legatus hath prized open for us a window of opportunity.
It is not often that I dare approach so closely to entities such as Zervan. How sharply am I reminded of the burden we place upon those who are blessed with the Echo.
These wounded soldiers will live, but further battle is beyond them. I have counseled them to remain here until their compatriots arrive to bear them home.
I had thought Regula a cold and ruthless man, but he showed surprising compassion for his soldiers. And it also seemed he placed great trust in his Emperor. If Regula could be convinced that the technology for containing primals is fatally flawed, then Maya Varus can be convinced as well.
The research facility crawls with Zervan is faithful, and he will not see us in their efforts to rouse him. If you could honor the legate's sacrifice, then you must slaughter those fiends to the last.
Forgive me, sir, if I show little gratitude for my rescue. It is said the Emperor and Von Hydrus were childhood friends. Foul fortune that we should be ones to bring news to of his death.
He's dead. Had I only been stronger. Enough of that. There'll be time for regrets after we rid of the world of the Zervan. Kral has the right of it. The demon has fallen back into torpor for now, but we must act swiftly if Regula's death is not have meaning. The survivors speak of an army of thralls loose in the facility, and we must assume these followers continue their efforts to awaken the Icon.
Let us then concentrate about diverting them from their task. Mistress Kral and Master Unukalhai, prithee secure the controls to Zervan's shackles, and limit the restoration of his might. Archon Y'shtola and I shall forge ahead, and strike down those thralls as would seek to harry you. Warrior of Light, thine is, as ever, the most perilous duty. Gather of thee thy trusted companions, and extinguish from this realm the fires of the demon himself. Okay. Oh, not that, but this. Only one pillar of the warring Triad remains. Zervan, the demon, worshipped by the Mericidian race of centaur-like beings. This icon manifested upon the physical plane as an embodiment of eternal victory. And yet, despite his godlike might, Zervan was captured. He has languished in his elegant-made prison for 5,000 years. His primal desire for justice swelling in magnitude, with each passing millennium. Through an unlikely alliance with the 6th Imperial Legion, you and your companions were able to prevent a catastrophic awakening orchestrated by the demon's thralls. But your work is not yet finished. Honor the sacrifice of Regula Von Hydrus, and remove the threat of Zervan from this world once and for all. Will do.
There's been enough sacrifice for one day. We must take the chance we've been given and defeat Zervan now!
Now then, let's go!
Good and evil, the war eternal! My doubt is fled.
Smart.
I shall rise above all. Bear witness to my will.
Ouch. Okay. This might be too much for me. Alright, Sherman, time out. Let's see if... just one. Well then... time to do the thing to take this off and do it with people. And now we must do the most awful thing for all the DPS. Waiting. And I don't have anything to for like a topic to say. Really awful at small talk. Oh. Seems we got a guest. Actually, I think it would be best if I do it with my other job. That being a Dark Knight. This may go a little bit faster, I hope. I must say this is the most unfortunate part of the experience that I wanted to avoid is of course the waiting part for the duty. I mean, who would want to replay these trials except the savage ones where you can actually get stuff. I think I'm gonna, when I upload this to YouTube, I will be editing out this waiting part. see some DPS people arrived. Let's hope to God that we now have to wait too long for this. I mean, the queuing would be go a little bit faster if you're either a tank or a healer. Another one showed up. Now we just need another tank and the healers, then we'll be set. And of course the last DPS. So, any of you watchers seen any anime recently? I myself am now watching one of the classic animes, Lupin the Third, and I must say it's really wacky adventures in that series has. It also is about to get a part 6 of it soon. One of the animes that I'm anticipating to watch is the part 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where you can finally see the stone-free part of it, where the only female main protagonist of JoJo, Jolene. Actually, I think we could do something else while we wait. How about we go to Gold Saucer? Oh. I think I must have to go out. Let's see, we can go now. Yes, we can. To Gold Saucer. At least we get something to do and look at. Oh! Oh my god. And now I cannot accept it now that I'm still loading. Okay. We didn't have to wait too long. Just when about to go to do something else, then the full party comes up. Gonna say hi to the party. Alright, we can skip this. Say boy. Let's go.
Good and evil, the war eternal. My doubt is fled. I shall rise above all. Bear witness to my will. Bow to mine infallible judgment. Suffer in endless torment. Suffer in endless torment.
go. We can do anything by working with each other. GG indeed. Oh, before I do that... Oh, never mind. Never mind. Incredible as always, Leo. Hopefully that will be the last of our world sees of the likes of Zurban. Every one of his thralls have been slain as far as we can determine. Our victory over the war in Triad is complete. An impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation.
Let's not forget the efforts of Regula von Hydrus and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner, and possessed of far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompany the survivors of the return journey to Garlemald. 'Tis known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion.
And when we next meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. 'Twas an interesting exchange, nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varys befriended Regula in their youth, and it seems he was highly impressed by his martial prowess. It is common knowledge that Regula's rise to legatus was in great part advocated by the Emperor himself. Regula freely admitted his shortcomings when it became to politics, and it was Varys' unconditional support that served to win his undying fealty. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the Empire's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectations, the man died a hero, witnessing the way you all lived into danger without hesitation. He would see us surrounded by heroes. And yet, my own actions were ought by heroic, but not the qualities nor the character to stand at the Warrior of Light's side. What a curious thing to say. Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew of the path I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return with me to the Rising Stones, and I shall tell you of it. There we go. Thank you for the players with that duty. With your victory over Zurban, The warring Triad is finally defeated. I'm afraid, however, that my own efforts have often been more hindrance than help. And you and your fellow scientists deserve to hear the reasons behind my actions. Okay then, kid. Let's hear your story. And don't call me kid. I promise to tell you of my journey, of who I am, of where I am from. The truth is, I am not of this world. I was born of a different star, a child whose power of the echo was too feeble to save his dying world. A child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was yet half grown. Had I been born but a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. The seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may have withered and perished. The star I failed to save is known to you now as the Void. Though Leo knew not that I spoke of my homeland, I've explained to him before the cause of its ruin. A magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within a stone known as Auracite, and the energies which bled from his imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger of ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and none who clung to their faint traces of light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons turned necks upon each other in a war which drained the land's ether in ever greater amounts, until one day, the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness, an entire world unmade in an instant. The voids you encounter here in this realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw on what most of life force remained. So that's it then, huh? And as I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas a white-robed Asian who found my tormented spirit, and bore me away to the rift betwixt worlds. Elidibus has been my master ever since. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, of the existence of mirrored worlds, and the eternal struggle between light and dark and light. Sudden overwhelming superiority of either side will shatter the balance, and the world in question will be returned to the void by calamity beyond imagining. As the self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, sleeps perilously close to oblivion. In what spirits did this master proffer such a warning? A benevolent gesture, or veiled threat? To these questions had more do I mean to coax forth answers. Yet no matter his intention, that Heidelin doth tether on a knife's edge is undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given you to make? I chose to join my master, and act as his instrument on this star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see to this world saved. And yet I hesitate at the most crucial moments. What right I have to stand alongside a true warrior of light?
In thy own words, thou wert called before thy time, and offer that thou dwellest overmuch on the question of what maketh a hero. The search for the answer leaveth thee paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Unukalhai. Thou needest not believe thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle.
Aye, the ideals you hold can be less important than having the faith to act upon them. Regula's loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called none less than heroic. Personally, I find that faith in my companions allow me to act unhindered by uncertainty. I know that should I ever falter, Leo and the others will be there to support me, or steer me back onto the right path if needed. Right you are. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I cannot imagine the loneliness you must have felt. But look around you now, Unukalhai. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the Science of the Seventh Dawn. I will fulfill my promise to save this world, and when I stumble, I shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies. This is difficult for me. For so long I have spoken from behind a mask.
We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments.
I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Urianshe. Yeah, I always see you with that hood and those goggles in your face. Okay, that's it. That was the war in Triad part. Now, I would say this is now the cream of the crop, of the top. We'll now go to the Alexander. This clockwork colossus emerged from the rushing waters of the Thaliac, looming a grave threat over the snow-swept hinterlands of Dravania. Summoned to stave off the threat of the sleeping primal before it stirs, the Warrior of Light steps within, and the curtain rises on a battle that will transcend space and time. That it will do be. Now, where do we have to go? Dravania? Idleshire. See ya. Now, if I remember correctly, there'll be a lot of goblin talk. Always the constant shh.
Slow fix. You got the job.
Is Uplandlander seen it? Giant of iron, rising from river? Istola and Sid leave to learn more, but are not back yet. Great is plight of the Gobi folk. Grand Giant is too big, can squash Idleshire flat. Where are Uplanders?
Calm yourself, Slowfix. Hey, Stola.
Ah, Leo, just while you are here, for our need is dire. A colossus of steam and steel has risen from the Thaliac. Yet is no mere forgotten contrivance of Sharlayan. The resultant etheric disturbance confirms that it is a primal, and that it was summoned amidst the ruins left from the city to reclaim. For mercy, it stopped dead not sooner than it had broken the water's surface, but so long as it remains in our realm, it may spring to life again at any moment.
Yes, but what does Uplander find near Idleshire? Is wilderness still heavy with ether?
Nay, the ether grows perilously thin, and more swiftly than I could have imagined. The primal is bleeding the land dry. Should it be suffered to continue, this entire region will become a barren waste in a matter of moons.
No, Gobbiflug has only just found home after long wanderings. Idleshire will not fall. Slowfix will not allow it.
And nor will we. I have already spoken with Alphino, and he concurs that we Scions of the Seventh Dawn must do all in our power to eliminate the threat. Yet given its size, it deemed it wise to attack from two fronts. Our first and most obvious recourse is to keep our foe in check with blade and magic, much as we have done with other such adversaries. Second, I propose that we attempt to cut off the flow of ether which sustains it, maybe by physically separating the primal from the land. If we are to be rid of the Colossus, I think the latter course more promising, and mean to enlist Master Matoya's aid in pursuing it. Yet such things take time. Thus, I have asked Master Garland to remain here and keep watch over our foe. Given its apparently mechanical nature, his expertise should prove invaluable to you. To you, I say, for I would leave the fate to Idleshire in your hands. Should the primal chance to stir ere my return, you are to join Sid in repelling it, an unenviable task, but one of which you are singularly qualified. Rest assured, I do not mean to linger with Master Matoya any longer than necessary. The moment we find a solution, I shall make haste to rejoin you here. Well then, let's be on our duties. I will leave you to discuss strategies with Sid.
Bax Crix is keeper of knowings for Idleshire. Can say when Sid has gone. Uplander should start with Backcrix.
Just realized that all of these goblins' names end with X. Reminds me of the French comic book Asterisk. Oh, I don't need to skip it, but I must put this on again. Undersized party, confirm. Whoop. Boom, 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 boom. You're back, Rix.
Backrix is keeper of knowings and data. What does Uplander wish to learn about? Our Uplander comes in search of seat, yes.
My thanks for sharing your knowings, Backrix. These Illuminati are indeed most hostile. Ah, Leo, old friend. You haven't seen Ishtilla, have you? Drain of all ether in matter of mere moons? 7 hells, how much power does that thing need? Too much, plainly. Well, it sounds as we have an urgent dismantling job on our hands. From what Backrix has been telling me, the Illuminati are the most likely culprits. They have the knowledge to summon a primal, and the requisite short-sightedness not to think better of it. Fanatical captures their philosophy nicely, I think. The goal being nothing less than sole ownership of all the world's technology. Needless to say, they're more willing to kill anyone who stands between them and what they want. Quite how they managed to coax a primal into the hulk of Sharian defense mechanism, I don't know. But it looks like they made themselves a tiny little fortress inside the Colossus. We'll need to contend with them if we're to disable the thing. As for the task itself, simply destroying whatever serves as its engine should do the trick. Assuming it's in fact mechanical. But before all that, we'll need to find a way in, through yet another bloody barrier.
Barrier is not new. Rose up 3 years ago after ground mates, shivery shakes. Ruin was freed from riverbed then. Roundrocks was there, saw with own 2 eyes.
Roundrocks? Sorry, who is...
Daughter of Slowfix. Roundrocks loves junk more than all other gummies. Was collecting then, and he's praying now. Play now, look. Shh, shiny chunk of sparkly rocks. Bitty pops and whirly cocks.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Roundrocks, but I need you to ask you a question. When the ground is shook 3 years ago, did something come popping up to the river's surface?
Popping? Nothing popped, silly Blunder. Ground made shivery shakes when giant whirlycocks stood, and then magic walls came up too.
So it wasn't the tremor that freed the Colossus. It was the Colossus which caused the tremor. And you are absolutely certain you saw it rise from the waters, young one?
Mm-hmm.
7 hells. I think someone tried to fail to summon it 3 years ago. But was it the Illuminati or...
Reflux, come to trade tongue flux and blunder.
Ah, just the goblin. Slowfix tells me you're his resident expert on the Illuminati. Pardon me a moment while I consult with my fellow Uplander. Leo, if I may make a suggestion, I'll speak with Braveflux and learn what I can of our opponents. In the meantime, could you investigate the Colossus itself? Biggs and Wedge are near when its hand landed in the shores of the Thaliac. Join them and see if you can find a way inside the machine. Oh, and good luck with that barrier. Oh? Hey. Come on, Midgard Sommer. Let's go check it out. Hey boys.
Dee-da, dee-da, dee-dee, dee-da, dee-dee-da.
What in the blazes?
Giant of Metal is holding fast to land, and Slovik is telling their troops to keep eyes on Big Hand.
Leo, come to see Colossus, eh? The chief has us look on the way in. Of course, there's a bleeding barrier around the thing. Aye, another one. Luckily for us, when the big fella came down, his hand clamped onto the shore here, punching a hole in his defenses and leaving that round portal there unprotected. Only trouble is, it's locked and doesn't seem to have a key. If I want a better idea, we're just listening into Illuminati link well communications, in hopes they'll mention the trick to opening it.
Dee-da, dee-da, dee-dee. There's only one signal coming from inside the giant. It's always the same pattern. I'm certain it's a code. The Illuminati always use coded messages. From what I hear, they develop a special kind of crystal specifically to transmuting link pro waveforms. If we could get our hands on one, the Chief's decoding machine here could theoretically be able to use it to untangle the meaning. Quite where to find a crystal, such a crystal is another matter.
Does Uplander know Round Rocks? She makes great collection of junk and things. Maybe he's keeping the crystal at shortstop?
Wouldn't that be a stroke of luck? And it just so happens I've been working on a means to identify the crystal in question. Here, Leo, take this 3G7001B. Sprinkle that power over this so-called collection, and look for anything that glimmers. It should contain the material we need. You may have to borrow one of Roundrox's treasures, but I'm sure she won't mind if you tell her it's for good cause. Let's hope she wants us to help. Wants us to help. I mean, hopefully she can help us. G7001B, a hodgepodge mixture of seemingly random items from Wedge's workspace. The engineer claims they can be used to detect the presence of certain crystals within solid matter. He can also ask that you do not ask him again about why is it called 3G7001B. Okay then. Yeet! Amongst the jumble of bits and bobs, you spy a faintly glimmering stone. Thank you. Oh, there.
What is Uplander doing? Sneaky taker. Treasure belongs to Roundrocks. Uplander needs it? For Giant of Whirlycocks? But glowstone is most favorite treasure of Roundrocks. Alright. But Uplander must promise to bring it back, or Roundrocks is getting very angry.
The way she talks is very, very cute. I'm back. Oh, Leo. No burns, I see. No reason. Tell me, did the
3G7001B reveal anything? Yes, this. Unsure of its origin, Roundrux has given this light-emitting rock a compound name, a linguistic convention common in the Goblin tongue. Thank you! And you have my word that I'll give this back to Roundrux when I finish with it. Now, let's take a listen to what the Illuminati are really saying. Goodness, all the infernal beeping is gone! Now it's a message. Clear as day. Let's see. Today's schedule for Gordius. Registration at 7th bell. Stop. Louse the curl cups at the 3rd bell. Stop. Rest and recuperation at 2nd bell. Repeat. Today's schedule of Gordius. Curl lousing? I'm sure that was the only message. This has to be some sort of jest.
Don't be daft, Wage. It's just another code. You need the proper crystal and the proper knowledge of understanding it. Ugh, bleed Illuminati. Should know it wouldn't be so easy.
Quite the conundrum you have there.
Really?
Well, it's your lucky day. I'll crack the code, assuming we can come to a little arrangement. I'm a treasure hunter by trade, and there is certain something I want inside the giant. I'll help you get inside. You help me get out of it. A fair deal, no? The name's Mide, by the way. Charmed, I'm sure. You are aware that the interior is almost certainly swarmy with the Illuminati, yes? Why do you think I came to you? There's strength in numbers, friend. Best we join forces, eh? Now, the words you intercepted are largely gibberish, while paired with the numbers, well, you see. 7, stop, 3, stop, 2, wasn't it? You, the big one. See the pipes up top the hatch? There ought to be a valve up there, with a hand wheel. Imagine it's a clock, and try turning it right to 7, left to 3, and then back to 2. Hey, it worked! Ha ha ha! We did it! We did it!
So the Illuminati have been announcing the way to enter the Colossus all along? Strange. Well done for cracking the code anyway. I had less success, sadly. I'm afraid Brayflux knows little more than we do about the Illuminati's plan or the Primal. Come. Things aren't bad as all of that. We found a way inside the machine. We'll just have to learn about it as we go. It's only a massive mammoth after all. Stopping it should be as simple as destroying its core. If we send a suitably interpret teams of surveyors, I don't see why we can't trace the machine's power back to the source via the struts and piping. And I know just the man to lead the party. What say you, Leo? You can count on me.
And what of me, pray tell? I opened the way to this grand expedition for yours. Surely that's earned me a place in your little band to hunt for my treasure.
You did as you promised, and you may do as you will now. But only so long as your treasure hunt doesn't endanger the mission. I'd join you if I could, but there's something I need to see to first. I'll leave Biggs and Wedge here in the case of emergencies. Good luck, my friend. Alright then, we got access to the inside. You need worry unduly about me. Once I have what I'm searching for, I'll leave. Simple as that. Let's head inside Alexander. Since the Charlian Exodus, the structure has stood steady against the flow of the Thaliac River. Now the Illuminati has summoned a primal around this rusting ruin. Terrible collide of steam and metal. Steel screamed against the steel when it rose from the waters, and it drank deep of the land's ether before grinding again to a halt. The voices of Idleshire cry out, asking for aid ere their homes are crushed under the weight of iron. We must lead band of valiant adventurers into the Machina and discover how to destroy the core, lest the giant screeches against to life and bleeds all the realm dry. And I'll be silent, because the music here is amazing. That was close. Now to claim my prize. I'm gonna need this if I'm gonna collect my glamour. Expertly done, adventurer. Well, what do we have here? What? Oh.
Sorry, Roundtrax could not stay away. So many new treasures here.
Treasures? Oh, you mean the odd bits and bobs. Well, little one, these machina are yours to take. And some of them are rather beautiful, I must admit.
Uplander can tell pretty machines from ugly? Just like Roundtrax.
No harm in adding one more to our company, is there? I'll keep an eye on her. Look at this loot box. Damn it, I was so sure.
Uplanders are wise to come, but most of all is treasure hunter. What she seeks is not here, not in all of Gordius.
Huh?
Kitty.
As I live and breathe, quick thinks all thoughts, master of the Illuminati.
Copies of backstab with boom dust. Uplander shoots. Everybody kabooms. Uplander ear, it's the town flaps of Basta. Enigma Codex for plans making is gone. Illuminati are already undertaking Alexander Initiative.
Foolish copy! Secrets are kept silent. Tongue flaps, never traded with outsiders. Has quick things done order so many times.
Master, forgive noise making of empty head. Copy did not think. Please, copy will make any punishment. Just that worst one.
Now!
What? Uplander is shooting copies? And boom dust does the Uplanders. Blood, Uplander blood has fallen copy king.
I think it would be a good time to leave.
Uplander, what is Enigma Codex? Treasure?
Yes, young one. My treasure. Before we talk with Biggs.
Patrick is keeper of knowing some data. What does Uplander wish to learn?
Nothing now. Which? Welcome back, Leo. I'm working with Backrix to intercept Illuminati communications. He's got a wonderful memory for details, and a great mind for codes. I must say the Goblin's grasp of technology is something to behold. I'm impressed. Rondrax has been showing me her treasures, and they're aptly named. Only a fool will call them junk. Just because something has been discarded, it doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. She also said that Quid thinks has face like a machina, cold and calculating. I can only assume she means his mask.
Mita is amazing. She can tell pretty junk from ugly almost as well as Roundrux. This whirlycock Roundrux finds 72 yums north and west, and this one is 24 yums south and east of Architecton. Shiny chunky sparkly rocks, bibbidi bops and whirlycocks.
Bleeding hells! Face to face with the head of the Illuminati, eh? Sounds like you had quite an adventure, and this Alexander initiative has got me wondering. Do you reckon it might be the giant's name? No sign of the core though, eh? Well, we'll just have to look further in. I'll let the chief know anyway. You'll be happy to hear Mida and Roundrux are safe too. Those two haven't stopped talking about machines since they got back. I can't say I ever thought of junk as pretty, but each of their own.
Continue.
Oh, Leo, ready to have another go at finding the giant's core? Which could you... Oi, wait! Stop releasing that bloody link pearl. We barged through the Illuminati's front door. They know we've broken their code.
I just this moment intercepted a new communication. If you give me a moment to... There! It says... Oh. Death to Uplanders, death to Uplanders. I think we have the start of war. The cuff of the father. There we go next. In your last foray into the giant's mighty arm, you narrowly escaped Quaithink's all thoughts and the Illuminati with your life. Yet in so doing, you won a cryptic name, Alexander. Wherever this may be, your path leads into the gloom of Gordius. March onwards with courage, for it's only in the darkness that you can learn how to stop the Iron Colossus. And once again, I'll be silent so you can enjoy the music.
And there we go. That was weird to listen to this without any like sound effects. Now let's put it a little bit down, like there. That'll be good enough. To play my prizes. Thank you.
Our blender is amazing. Our blender is stronger than 10 gobbies.
Hey, ladies. Oh, there you are, friend. I was beginning to wonder if I ever find you. Dick's account left something to be desired, so I thought it best to see the interior with my own eyes. A treasure hunter through and through. Tell me, what exactly do you hope to find here?
Ever heard of the Enigma Codex? It's a book of ideas written some 100 years past. The life's work of one of the greatest technologists ever to draw breath. Within its pages are found myriad wonders, from designs for machina that could operate ceaselessly for centuries to novel ways of culturing cheese. Even a fragment of the book could bring a king's ransom. But most remarkable of all the plans for the walking citadel, It has to be a beacon of logic and reason for all the world.
A walking citadel? Seven hells, we're standing in it, aren't we? The Illuminati's primal took its form from the idea, but I sense that none of this is news to you. You read it then, this Enigma Codex?
The design guarded from every needful thing, from warm beds to crops of grain. Its occupants could never have to leave, and all in a fortress on feet, impenetrable and ready to move at a moment's notice. The citadel was meant to bear the most brilliant scholars and artificers of the ages for all 4 corners of the world, that they might set about unraveling the mysteries of creation. And this utopia, this shining seed of erudition, was to be called Alexander.
If Roundrux lived in Walking Castle, Roundrux could collect treasure from everywhere.
Indeed you could, little one. And anything you found, be it junk, forgotten teachings, or lost secrets, would be yours for the taking.
And what exactly would the Illuminati do with all this knowledge?
They would use it to take control, most likely. Create a world ruled by a few chosen scholars. Unless I'm mistaken, that's why the Illuminati exist.
Bloody fanatics. Take a perfectly good idea and make it into an object of faith. What could possibly go wrong? I can well imagine how people who have spent decades carrying their homes on their backs might crave a home that will carry them. How such a place could seem like a utopia. But we're not talking about a machine here. We're talking about a primal. And primals will be death to us all. I trust you'll be ready when things come to a head, Leo. I am.
Utopia is a happy place? Where there is junk aplenty, Roundrux is happy. Where is very happy place for me day?
Wherever he is.
And who is this he? This Enigma Codex sounds amazing. A walking citadel is one thing, but a self-sustaining walking citadel? Genius! This is a pity the Illuminati had to go and make a bleeding primal out of it. From what I understand, this Alexander was active for no more than a few seconds. That's seconds. I did not drain the hinterlands of either. Imagine what I'll do if they wander the whole bleeding world. I don't think Roundrux realize how much danger we're in here. Too busy hunting for new treasures. Probably for the best though, eh?
Yeah, it might be best.
We got ourselves a problem, Leo. But don't worry, the Chief has a plan. Speaking of whom, Chief, over here. All present and correct, I see. Good. Something that's been nagging me for a while, Leo. And I've really realized what it is. It concerns the communications Wedge intercepted. So we know the Illuminati have managed to establish a base inside the Colossus, meaning they must also have found a way to pierce the magic barrier. Assuming that's the case, what need have they to use the only hatch with the barrier doesn't protect? And why go the trouble of sending coded messages on how to unlock it? The answer? Spies. I believe the Illuminati have agent outside the Colossus, most like an Idleshire itself, who is using the hatch as a back door. Now this agent will know we've broken their code, and that the hatch is constantly watched, so it won't have to be used for some time. As such, he'll doubtless be desperate to re-establish contact with the inside. And that's why I cleared the area around the giant's hand. All we need to do now is watch and wait, and follow whoever makes a dash for the hatch. Chief! Link per call from Red Bricks. He says Braveflox went inside, but she can't be. No, it must be impersonator. Chief, whoever you met earlier was a spy. Quick, you gotta go after her. Oh man. Now then, to the arm of the Father. In the Enigma Codex are writ the designs for a walking citadel. It was known as Alexander, a self-sufficient bastion for logic and reason, and a beacon of knowledge for a world adrift. So says the treasure hunter Mide. The Illuminati dreamed this century-old dream, and in so doing gave form to their primal. Yet no matter how beautiful an idea, the reality of fanatics with such power is a tarnished, ugly thing. By your hand must this threat be stopped. By your hand. I cannot read today. Huh. There you are. Let's go after him.
Ha ha ha, wipe out. Nice. Arm of the Father cleared. Kitty.
Copy found it? Good. Knowing of missing piece are with Illuminati.
Oh, damn.
Copy did well indeed.
This is how you treat those who please you?
Now is realming chaos. Broken. Machine with too many parts. But Illuminati plan needs one thing. Missing piece to bring world order. Give world harmony. Make world perfect.
And what of those who don't fit your vision of perfection? How many must die to pay for your utopia? Don't you see? You summon a goddamn primal. It will devour the ether of every land you visit, until Heidelin and everything on it is dead.
Inside fortress of Illuminati, Chosen will live on. If Imperial on outside die for progress, so be it. This is cost of seeking for knowings.
Hell's take you and your damn seeking.
Wise uplanders find happiness in Illuminati rule. Unwise uplanders, Utopia does not need.
So it's obey or die then. Pah! The whole concept is grotesque.
No, Sid. Like the rest of the ideas set out in the Enigma Codex, Alexander is wonderful in itself, perfect even, but in the rush to realize its ideals, even the best of us can lead astray.
Oh, so once upon a time these Illuminati were starry-eyed philanthropists, is that it? And that was the only... And it was only after they got their hands on that perfect bloody codex that they turned into vicious killers. Tell me, was there any passage in Peculiar that convinced them to abandon their last shred of empathy?
I cannot speak for the precise contents of the Codex, not anymore, but I haven't forgotten everything I read. I think I can stop the core, if you can get me close enough.
You think you can, or you know you can. And what of its location?
It's somewhere in the trunk. How close are we to that, I can't say.
Round trucks can say 2 paces of round trucks are 1 yam. So by round of round truck, count of round trucks, just the wheeler cock giant is only a little further.
Ha! Clever girl! You'll be measuring how far we've come from the start.
Hee
Alright. I propose we withdraw from the time being. I don't know what will happen when we breach the core, but I do know that we'll be better equipped to deal with it if we're well rested and ready for anything. All will be well enough. No one should have the power to choose who lives and who dies. The idea is too vile, too insidious to be left unchallenged. We have to act. If we don't, Alexander will awaken, and the Illuminati will be unstoppable. Make no mistake, Leo. It's now or never. I think I have the knowledge required to shut down the Giant's core. But if I'm to reach it, I'll need you to lend me your strength. Well, really? The Illuminati's latest message is... Let me start again. Well, really? The Illuminati's latest message is... It's... well... let's just say it's unsuitable for polite company. I should be much obliged if you teach those privy-mouthed savages some manners, Leo. Right then. To the burden of the father. The Illuminati would see the lofty ideals of the Enigma Codex turn into warped elitism, and have their primal play host to their chosen few. From within its walls, they would control the world with cold logic, and crush opposition with a fist of iron. With your eyes open to the Goblin Scholar's true ambitions, you must make your way farther past the pumping pistons and grinding gears of the Colossus. Can you and your comrades destroy the core therein, or will you fall and so allow your foes to wreak ruin across the realm? Well, not any comrades, but by myself, yeah. Because you know, this is only a solo. That was close. Haha, nice. Gourd is complete. Very nice, very nice. Take these, and we're off. The Gordian Knot. We're here, and none the worse for wear. So if you need another pair of hands, just say the word.
So these here are the machine, eh? I knew I should have brought a bigger hammer. Not that I'll be needing it, of course. Is that right, Mayday?
Nice. Look! Uh-oh.
Kitty.
Greater unknowings in the brain cases of unwise than quick things believed. Perhaps quick things judged too quickly. Perhaps the Illuminati should study of landers. It is before eyes of copy? Good. Do not fail. Illuminati have no use for failing copies. End of copy's long wandering is close.
Something isn't right. Something isn't right at all. The way Queething spoke, you'd think he had won.
He didn't seem too bothered, that's for sure. Do you think he might have planned for us stopping Alexander's core? What was it the chief said again? About the Illuminati finding what they needed to complete their plan?
Something along the lines of a missing piece, I thought. And what if Queething is on our guard? The two adults who were ever at his side. Why aren't they here? The Illuminati must surely have known where we're coming. What could be more important than protecting their leader?
You don't think he's sending to Idleshire, do you? What our backs were turned like?
That would be! Come on! Whoa. Let's leave this place. Red bricks? What's been happening?
Giant loses power. Uplanders succeed.
Never mind that, man. Did the Illuminati come? Is Idleshire safe?
How does Uplander know? Yes, many Illuminati come to take stuffs of Flock. Great was chaos. But suddenly Illuminati go and take only junk not worth jingly shine.
They came barging in, ready to start a war, and then scuppered with a handful of bleeding junk? Hold on a minute. Were there any last seen?
Red brick stinks near the shortstop.
Round trucks! Come on! I'll go and find the chief. He'll know what to do.
Uplanders are gone too long for comfort for red bricks. Shortstop is place for clashing with Illuminati. Illuminati up to no good. Maybe using confusion to do foul things. Uplander must go and see. Make sure all is well.
I'll go see. Ixion away. Is everything still as we found it? They haven't come back, have they? No, they're gone for now. And everyone seemed to be fine, physically at least. But Roundrocks.
All gone. All gone.
Poor thing. The Illuminati took everything. I'm just glad she was off collecting trinkets with Backricks when they came. I daren't think what might happen had she been here.
Come, come, little one. Dry your tears. What? Aye. One thief, unconscious. We found him lurking near the edge of town, not far from your treasure, Roundrocks. Heh, nice.
Uplander brings treasures home. Thanks to Uplander. Many, many thanks.
It was all Bix, little one. He had a feeling a few soldiers might be lurking around, waiting to ambush us. And this is what we stumbled onto when we weren't to look. But why did the Illuminati take Roundrocks' collection in the first place? Surely they can't have been their goal. Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure. Were I to guess, I'd say the Illuminati believed something they wanted was hidden amongst Roundrocks' pile of trinkets. Rather than waste time sorting through them, they decided to take the lot. But when they subsequently realized they didn't have what they were looking for, they crept back into the town to wait for a chance to seize whatever it was they actually wanted.
What if Badcup is one most favorite treasure of Roundrocks? One that is safe with Uplanders?
You mean the glowstone that Leo borrowed? But of course! He's been sitting in the decoding machine all along.
Yes, yes. Roundrocks would be sad without pretty glowstone. It is special treasure from near old castle. Rusty one that was left by Uplanders from before.
Wait, What do you mean before? Roundrux, were you near the Charlian ruins when the metal giant first appeared?
Yes, Rontrox saw Whirlicog's giant stand 3 years ago, but was only for a little bit, and big guppies do not believe Roundrox.
3 years ago, when someone tried and failed to summon the primal.
Ooh, shiny. A fragment of the Codex! Of all the places in the realm!
Only a fragment of the original? So the crystal must be the Illuminati's missing piece. We may have stopped their primal and taken their prize, but our foes are not about to admit defeat. They'll be back, and out for blood, like as not. But we got you, Leo. I'm sure you'll be ready for the onslaught when it comes, but I suggest you make it merry till then. Okay then. We'll do just that.
Rontrox is happy. Many friends worry. Think of Rontrox. Uplander is one. Rontrox thanks kind Uplander.
Let me chime in as well, Leo. Roundrux's home needed protection, and you provided it. Not many will do that, and certainly not in the face of a primal. You have my thanks also.
You're welcome.
Midday helped at Roundrox too. Uplanders have a good hearts and kind.
Only so many of us find Machina pretty, my dear. We have to stick together, don't we?
Did Midday always like whirlycocks and beady bops?
Not like you, Roundrox. My love, he adored the things. Inventing, building, and tinkering with them.
Midday always touches hurt mark when remembering.
Do I? Well, I suppose I do. Those times were something else, little one. My friends and I, we were lost in our dream. We thought to put back the pieces of the broken world with logic, reason, and technology, and we were certain we could do it too. I hadn't much skill with thinking of things or making them, but I helped in my small way, and that feeling of aiding in someone's dream, sharing it, washes over you like a wave of happiness. I've never felt it that way since. No, it all seems so far away. Even the memories feel like I dreamed them, rather than lived them. Well, enough of that. Roundrux is right, adventurer. You're a kindly soul. Keep an eye on our girl till next we meet, will you?
Okay. I think it's time for me to stop for today. This will be a good part to end the part. We have now finished the whole war in Triad, and now we finished the first part of Alexander. pretty nicely, I think. So, well, next time we meet, we shall finish the Alexander side story. Until then, see you all.